Hi guys, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I received a very exciting, very intriguing email about 3 weeks ago from a guy named Ian Black, and he has created a tarot deck called the BlackTarot. And he reached out and said that he enjoyed watching a lot of my YouTube videos and asked if I would consider doing a review of his deck. And I've never been asked to do this before, so I was very, very excited about the opportunity. For any of you who are favorites of mine, who follow my stuff and follow my work, you know that I love cards. Oracle and tarot, it matters not. I just love the cards. And I don't consider myself a true tarot reader, but I use tarot as a tool in what it is that I do. And I find them fascinating. And I typically tend to love decks that are full of color and lots of detail, because I read intuitively. I have the basic structure and understanding of the sort of the tarot system, and I'm familiar with the Rider-Waite tarot, which BlackTarot is based off of. And all of my tarot decks tend to be based off of that particular tradition and that particular path. So when Ian reached out and asked me to take a look at his deck, I was a little bit concerned because he said, you know, I chose black and white. And I thought, I'm a color girl. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about a black and white deck. And I got to tell you, I received it in the mail, I don't know, 10 days ago, I think now. And I opened it up, and I have just really, really enjoyed this deck. So I want to talk about it. I want to share it with you guys. Ooh. Get it out of the light there. So this is the box that I received it in. So it's a standard style. Let's see if we can get the, there we go, without the glare. It's a standard style tarot deck. Again, very similar to the Rider-Waite deck. So it's very easy to sort of hold in your hands, easy to shuffle. And one of the things that I noticed, actually the very first thing I noticed, which I was really super pumped about, was when I pulled it out, it's gilded. So there's this beautiful, shiny silver gilding along the edges of each card. And of course that made me very excited because what's life without a little bling? So I really enjoyed seeing that. And this is the image that he's chosen. So let me tell you a little bit about sort of where he's coming from with the deck. He is an architect, and so he had sort of shared that through his process, whenever he's creating architectural designs and blueprints, he sketches. And so he really enjoys sketching things, and that is sort of the premise of this tarot deck, is that it's all based on sketches. And so he's also changed, we have typically wands, pentacles, cups, and swords. And what he's done is pentacles are the snake, swords are the key, stars are the cups, and what are we, oh, and the sphere. The sphere is wands. So he has really incorporated all four suits in the tarot into different symbology, which I really think is very cool. So when I opened the deck, I was very excited. It is based on the traditional tarot. So we have our major arcana and our minor arcana. And I just picked out a few cards that I wanted to talk about that sort of stood out to me. And the first one is the Daemon. And this, of course, is the devil in traditional tarot. And what struck me about this particular image or adaptation, again, it's all about sketches. So the imagery is very simple, very basic, not a whole lot of detail, but yet when I work on it intuitively, I pick up so much. So I've really enjoyed that. So with this card in particular, what I was really drawn to is normally with the devil, it's all about self-inflicted imprisonment. It's about rebellion. It's about diving into the dark side, you know, sort of feeling that, because we all have our shadow sides, our shadow selves. It's sort of diving into those and you know, spiritual selfishness, I guess, is a way of putting it. But the devil is also, Lucifer is the light bearer, I believe, or light bringer. I think it's light bearer. Either way, it works. Bringer of the light. And what I love about this interpretation is, you see here, he's almost got like a horse's leg. And then the other leg, he's either on one knee or it's like a peg leg. And what I'm feeling is, with a horse, horses go fast. So it really shows you, on one hand, I'm ready to go, and on the other hand, I'm stuck. So the devil really is about that temptation and feeling that push and pull on the inside. I also really like the imagery that he's got here with the fire, the flame. So the light bringer, I am leading with the light. I am exposing what is out there ahead of me, but I also can destroy. I can also protect. So I've got this option, and depending on, you know, how you're reading it, how it folds in to a reading, there are many, many different messages that you can receive through the daemon. So I really, really enjoyed this interpretation. And another one that was slightly different that I thought was very unique is the Strength card. And typically the Strength card is represented by a woman, possibly a princess, or just a sort of a strong feminine energy. And she's usually with a lion or a tiger, and sort of showing that she's got strength over the beast, that she is sort of in control, but that also she can communicate with the beasts, that she is one with the beasts. And in this interpretation, we've got the bull. And what is the bull? The bull is a workhorse. You see, he's got the, my brain just left me here. So whatever this is called, to keep him corralled, to keep him reined in. The bull is a workhorse. And so when we talk about strength, it's really about inner strength. It's also about what work are you willing to do to dive into that inner strength, because it does take work to dive in and look at yourself. It does take work to choose courage, to take the inner path and find that strength within, find the areas that you wish to improve and to make those improvements. So there is a lot of work, but we are strong. We're strong like bull, and we can move forward into that path if we choose. We've got that ability. Also, bulls represent stubbornness. And I like that stubbornness is, the idea of stubbornness here, from my interpretation of this card, is attached to strength, because oftentimes it does take a stubborn will to get you past negative experiences, or to get you through to the other side. It takes a stubborn sense of will, a strong will, as well as the work to be able to make it happen. So I thought this was a really interesting interpretation. And then I've got another major arcana card, the Empress. And the Empress is one of my absolute favorite cards in any tarot deck. And there are many different meanings, but basically it's about growth. It's about being nurtured, nurturing somebody, nurturing, and growth. And that can be inner growth as well as outer growth. And I'm not sure if Ian intended for this to look like the rays of the sun, or if this is trees on the earth. But the way that I am interpreting it, the way that I see it, and I thought it was a really interesting way of presenting this card, is that he's standing on top of the sun. I think it's a he. No, it's a she. She is standing on top of the sun. And these are the rays of the sun. And what is the sun all about? The sun is about truth. The sun is about the light. It's about growth. Plants cannot grow without the sun, and photosynthesis and all that jazz. So everything sort of comes back to the sun. And she's sort of releasing or holding communing with a rabbit, and rabbits are all about fertility. So again, this card really emphasizes the Empress as growth. And how are we growing? Bunny rabbits are known for their multiplying abilities. So lots of abundance, lots of fertility, lots of growth. So I really enjoyed this interpretation. And then another card here that I really liked, and I don't know if this was a mistake, because it's the only one like it, but it stood out to me in a positive way. And this is a King card. So one of the pip cards, and this is the King of Keys. So that would be like the King of Swords, energy of the mind, energy of thought. And the King is a woman. And I really, really like that he chose to make the king a woman, because, I mean, typically we think of kings and queens, but there's a delineation there. There's an automatic hierarchy and implying that, you know, sort of the female or the king is low, or the queen is lower than the king. And in this case, especially when we're talking about intuition, keys, swords, not that men don't have intuition, men definitely have intuition. Women, the feminine, the divine feminine side is the side that really taps into intuition. So I really enjoyed that interpretation. And I've pulled out each of the aces in each of the suits. Let's see if I can get, there we go, without the shot. So this is the Ace of Spheres, which equates to wands in the regular tarot. This is all about fire. This is all about energy and passion. Lots of creativity going on. So he's chosen to represent that in the realm of a sphere. And then this is the Ace of Cups, which is, the Ace of Stars. And stars are all about cups, water, emotion, the realm of emotion. Lots of vision. When we are envisioning something for ourselves, we are emoting, we are imagining what that would feel like. And then keys. Ace of Keys, or the suit of keys, is all about swords. Swords is the realm of thought, the realm of intellect, the realm of the mind. And he's chosen keys. So, you know, oftentimes our thoughts are the key. Thoughts produce things. Thoughts create things. So it's the key. He actually talks about water as being more about emotions and sort of metaphysics and psychic stuff. For me, I feel that swords, and in this case, keys, really is representative of the intuitive side of things, the psychic side of things as well, because the realm of the mind and the third eye. So I also have that little added interpretation there. And finally, we have the Ace of Snakes. And snakes represents pentacles, which is the realm of earth, materialism, manifestation, bringing thought into form. Bringing things into form. And snakes also is about wisdom and knowledge when we sort of tune into that. And I really like that he's chosen snakes to represent the material, because you have to have knowledge, you have to have some wisdom in order to be able to bring something into being, into manifestation, and to make it real. So I really enjoy the symbolism that he's chosen, the symbology that he has chosen. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so let's do a quick little card reading and give you a little taste of what it's like to work with this deck. And I have to tell you, again, I am a color girl. I typically tend to like decks with a lot of detail. And so I was really concerned about this one, and I've really enjoyed working with this deck. I definitely can see myself using this as a regular deck to tap into, because the imagery is so simple, and it's in the simplicity, I feel, that is the magic. That's the secret of it. So let's see, what can we talk about today? Let's just see what's coming up this week for us. And I know you may not be watching this. This is actually Black Friday 2018, so the day after Thanksgiving, and you may be watching this at another time, but that matters not. It will still stand the test of time. So I'm feeling this card here. I'm going to pull 3 cards because for me 3 is the magic number. It's a number of creation. So let's see what we pulled. And this is what we want to know for this week coming up. So I have pulled the Queen of Stars. And stars, as we know, is emotions, the realm of emotion. So Queen of Stars, that's talking about managing your emotions, and manager or organizer of emotional energy. That this is someone who makes things happen. This is someone who tells people, okay, I'm delegating this to you and this to you and this to you. Now go make it happen. What do you need? What materials do you need to make that happen? And then go and go forth and do it. So the manager of emotional energy. And this is definitely something that I feel that we do on a fairly regular basis in our day-to-day life, is things pop up and how do we cope? How do we manage those feelings and emotions? Sometimes they come up at what we deem as inopportune times. How do you manage that? How do you deal with that? I won't think about that today, I'll think about that tomorrow. Pull a Scarlett O'Hara. Do you deal with it head on? Are you a person that says, oh yeah, I'm not liking this right now, let's talk about it, let's deal with this? Do you need time to sit back and process what has happened before you elaborate on it, or before you express how you're feeling? And we'll find out how that fits into this week for all of us. And ooh, the Queen of Keys. And keys, of course, is swords. It's the mental energy, intellectual energy. So again, this is a manager or organizer of intellectual energy, a manager or organizer of thoughts. So here we are. This week, we need to really step into our managing our emotions and our thoughts. And the first thing that comes to my mind is reaction versus response. This is something that comes up for me quite a bit in readings for clients, as well as just for myself. Things happen, and we want to make sure that we are managing what is coming out of our mouths. So oftentimes someone says something and you automatically just go blah, 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 with a response, and it's not, or with a reaction. And it's not necessarily the best way to say it or the healthiest way. Maybe it's not the message so much as the delivery, or maybe you're reacting to someone else's reaction where they were feeling something and they didn't give it time to speak about it, to think about it, to decide what it was, what their intention was behind their response. They just reacted, and now you're reacting to their reaction, and it gets blown out of proportion. So what I'm feeling here, the message for us this week, in looking at the queens, we need to be queens of our emotions and queens of our thoughts. So when something happens, instead of reacting right away, boys, speaking of reaction versus response, my dogs are classic for reacting. So instead of reacting right away, taking a step back and saying, I wonder what that person's intention really is. I wonder what they're feeling. For them to say this to me, they must be in a lot of pain. Or to say this to me, they must be feeling very frustrated. So how can I alleviate that pain or alleviate that frustration? I need to take a step back, and I need to be more in alignment with thinking about how I want to respond. What are my intentions? And the third card that we have here, Page. So we have Page of Spheres, which is Page of Wands. Wands, spheres, is the realm of fire, energy, creativity. And Page is in the realm of being a student of that energy, being a student of passion, being a student of creative thought, being a student of that creative energy. So it's almost like having an idea, having an inspiration, but not really sure how to bring it into being. It's almost like you're in the idea phase. You haven't even researched it. You have no idea where it's going. So when we look at these 3 cards here, and we're looking at the 2 queens being managers of how we choose to deliver our message, we also want to be a student of the creative energy, because ultimately it's all about what it is that we choose to create that matters most. What is it that we are creating? Where is it that we want to be this week? Where is our ultimate goal and destiny? Maybe we don't know. Maybe it's an inspiration. Maybe it's in the realm of an idea that we have to research how to get there, research how to create it. But we can do that by managing our emotions and our thoughts so that we can then step into the energy of creation. See what I mean? I just love this deck. And every time I have read for somebody using this deck, I've pulled similar cards and it's always a different meaning. So I really, really am enjoying using the Black Tarot, Ian Black. I believe he's doing a Kickstarter program. If you happen to watch this from now until the end of November 2018, check out his Kickstarter, the Black Tarot, and go and make a donation, make a contribution, and get this deck. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I know that I'm definitely going to be incorporating this deck for my future readings, especially for my weekly tarot readings. This is just a perfect fit for it. Again, absolutely beautiful cards. We got a little bit of bling on the side, very simplistic, yet meaningful depictions of what is going on in a very unique way of exploring the 4 suits. So I highly recommend it. Go and check out Ian Black, the Black Tarot on Kickstarter. He may also have a Facebook campaign, I'm not sure. And I'm going to put something on my website as well, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. And I'm also going to put something on Facebook. So you can check out my Facebook page, The Black Feather Intuitive. And I highly recommend this deck. Go and check it out. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.